that we want to ask. And if you can answer these questions as you look at a word, in the ending of a word, you'll be able to determine really all that you need to know about that word. You can determine everything you need to know. Number one, who is performing the action? Who is performing the action? And we call that person. Number two, how many are performing the action? Or what is the number? That's number. Let me go back a moment to person. When we talk about person, we have first person, second person, and third person. This is similar to English, this part right here. First person, second person, third person. First person would be who? I. Second person would be who? You. Third person would be he. So you have I, you, he, she. First person, second person, third person. We know that this is I see because it ends with the first person. I see. Then you have number. What would be the possibilities for number?
Singular, plural.
Two possibilities, singular and plural. Always going to be singular or plural. And so we might have first person singular or first person plural. Second person singular, second person plural. Third person singular, third person plural. All right, so you've got person, number, and then three. Number three is voice. What do we mean by voice? Well, is the subject doing this, or is this being done to the subject? They tell us whether you are doing the action or if it is being done to you. And then we have, when it comes to voice, we won't spend a lot of time on this, but let me just mention we have active, passive, and middle voice. Again, you're probably familiar with some of that. Active, passive, and middle voice.
Middle.
Sir?
Middle.
We're not going to get into that right
I mean in English. We don't have it.
Yes, we don't have it, do we? Okay, number 4 is tense. Number 4 is tense.
That when?
I'm sorry?
Is that like when did it happen?
Tense is like, how does the person look at this kind of action? Tense is like, there are a number of tenses. But we're not going to get into which tenses are important for us tonight. We're just going to get into one, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Sir?
Tense, like tenses, you're talking past, present.
Well, sort of, but not exactly. It could be
Well,
past,
except on the third Tuesday following the second Monday. of the week.
something like that, yes, sir. And then the fifth thing has to do with what we call mood. What we call mood. And when it comes to mood, there are, I think, 7 different moods. Indicative, subjective, imperative. Maybe there's 4 moods.
What are we asking with that?
When it comes to mood, how does the speaker look at the fulfillment of what is being done? How does this person look at the fulfillment? Now, most of that is not really that important, and as far as what we're going to try to do here, especially tonight. But I want us tonight to try to look at one section here that deals with conjugation. And I want us to try to take one word here. I want us to take the word luo. Luo. Now, if you look at that word luo, what would be the stem? Lu. Okay, that would be the stem. And what would be the ending? Okay, the ending would be the omega. And we're going to, like I said, in the Greek we have tense, we have voice, we have mood. We have in the tense, we have present tense. And what we want to look at tonight is what is called the present active indicative. Present active indicative. And if you can learn these endings, it'll help you learn a lot about the Greek verbs. Because a large number of Greek verbs will contain these endings. Look at your outline. And notice where I have on the front page the word verbs there. And I want you to write out beside I loose. I want you to write this word, luo. Write it in the Greek, luo. This is the present active indicative of the verb luo. Present is the tense, or the present is the indicative. In the present tense refers to the present time when it's in the indicative. The active voice represents the subject as acting instead of being acted upon. Okay, when we say the active voice, we mean that the present, it represents the subject as acting instead of being acted upon. And then the indicative is the mood. The indicative mood makes an assertion. It always makes an assertion. And most of the verbs that I said are in this form. And so the present active indicative of the verb luo, you have luo. That's singular, first person singular. The second ending is lues. Luo, lues. Luo means I loose. So you have I loose, and you have you are losing. You are loosing. So you have luo, lues, and then the third person singular, you have lue. So here's the conjugation. Luo, lues, lue. I'd like for everybody to repeat that. Luo, lues, lue. You said I loose, you are loosing, and he looses.
So
No.
you are loosing, not you loose. Right? I mean, those are different tenses, aren't they?
Literally, it would be you loosest, or thou loosest, if you're looking at the
Okay.
Old King James Bible. That's singular. I, you, he. If you can get these endings, o, ace, and a, notice, the stem is always the same. The stem is always the same. Lu, lu, lu. The only change is the ending. O, ace, a. And if you can get that, you'll get most of the verbs. For instance, blepo. Blepo is I see. That's first person singular. Then you would have blepo, blepes, blepe. I see, you are seeing, he is seeing. Singular. First person, second person, third person. You can do that with every one of these words. Look at the words on the outline there. Each of these words are verbs.